Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
I have successfully signed a contract and will not be in Munich. Please ask for a reward. Ask for a recommendation ticket. Experimental Island. The red area. This area is different from beginning to end. All human beings who know the existence of this island know the truth. The red area where mutant beasts gather is the place of death. If any normal creature enters, the probability of wanting to survive is less than 1 in 1,000. And the mutant beasts here are very strange. The islands obviously have a large area, but they must all be gathered in the red area. Even for a small survival area, continuous killing and continuous fighting, they do not shrink. Only a few mutant beasts are due to special reasons. Accidentally walked out of the area. No one knows the reason for this. Chi-Chi. Roar. At this moment, in the red area, more than 100 giant pythons are all entrenched beside a swamp flowing with turbid liquid. The sniffing letter sound and roars were constantly coming from their mouths. In the swamp, all are horribly big crocodiles. The crocodile skin on the body is raised, and it looks like all of them are thick hill bags, and they are extremely strong. Even a submachine gun can't cause even the slightest damage to this crocodile skin. Hurt. In addition, the body of a crocodile is at least about twice the size of an ordinary crocodile. The body length has reached an astonishing 8 meters. They lurked head-to-head in the swamp, revealing a pair of eyes and that huge mouth. Especially in the mouth, sharp teeth, like any creature. As long as they dare to get close, they will definitely be strangled with no residue left. The number of these crocodiles exceeds 50. Facing the roars and screams of the pythons, they did not respond, just watched quietly. In the air, the murderous breath continued to spread. Within 2 kilometers, no mutant beasts can be seen. After talking about the crocodile, that multi-headed python, by contrast, would never appear weak. The body length of each python is more than 10 meters. Even some pythons are more than 20 meters long. Even if Hebei stands in front of them, they are very small. The lines on these pythons appear to be reticulate. The diameter of the body is even more terrifying, and each one is as thick as a bucket. With a huge body and length, if the crocodiles in the swamp really climbed up, these pythons could easily complete the strangulation. The reason why the 2 sides are in a stalemate now is because of mutual fear. Once the python rushes into the swamp, it will definitely be dragged in and killed by the crocodiles. Once the crocodile group rushed out, the end is self-evident. That's why the 2 sides are deadlocked. Chi-Chi. The reticulated python's mouth kept on scorning, and the sneered voice resounded endlessly beside the swamp. 1 hour. 2 hours. 5 hours. I can't tell why the 2 sides are so opposed, but as time passed quickly, these mutated pythons and crocodiles gradually lost their calmness at the beginning. Roar. In the end, it is estimated that a huge mutant reticulated python lost patience, and an incredible roar broke out in its mouth. Mouth opened. The mouth of the blood basin directly showed 270 degrees, as if everything could be swallowed and strangled easily. After the roar appeared, the reticulated python rushed towards the nearest crocodile unceremoniously. Laugh. High speed. The moment it rushed past, it was like a flash of lightning. The poor crocodile closest to it didn't even have a chance to react. The huge body was swallowed alive by this reticulated python in one bite. But the other crocodiles next to them were not at all polite. After the reticulated python attacked, his body sank into the swamp. Although he swallowed half of a crocodile in one mouthful, the next moment, all the crocodiles went crazy and swarmed. Wow! Booming! Chi-Chi! In the muddy swamp, such noises kept on, and the crocodile's sharp teeth desperately bitten the reticulated python. In a moment, all the gray-brown swamps were stained with bright red blood. The air is full of disgusting blood. The active attack of this reticulated python can be regarded as the fuse. After seeing the crocodiles besieging together, the surrounding reticulated pythons all moved, and the huge body moved forward quickly. After some pythons fell into the swamp, Other pythons immediately followed up, moved past their bodies. Wow! Above the swamp, the terrifying battle is continuing. It was so dark on both sides that I didn't notice it at all. Just less than 100 meters away from here, 9 other types of pythons that did not originally belong to this area came. And those pythons actually watched this quietly with extremely cold eyes. Battle. Yes. 100 meters away, Yi Bei was the leader. With the help of the system, he clearly saw the situation of the battle on the spot. There was not much disturbance on the surface, but his heart was shocked. Reticulated python, also known as overlord python, net python. Although Yi Bei hadn't seen the animal world much before, he was very acquainted with this type of python. Bawangmang is the largest species of snake, the longest species among all living snake species in the world. Ordinary reticulated pythons are generally about 8 to 9 meters long, and the longer ones can reach more than 12 meters. They are endangered creatures in the world. Yi Bei has even seen a piece of news. According to records, the longest python in the world, the body is 14.85 meters long, and its species is a reticulated python. In addition, the maximum number of reticulated python females can reach more than 100 eggs at a time. It's incredible. There are so many endangered creatures here, and their body shape is much larger than ordinary reticulated pythons. They are mutated, and their powerful reproduction ability is used to expand the snake population. It's not perfect. Watching the snake and the crocodile fight, Yi Bei's eyes began to flash constantly. Just after Yi Bei murmured these words, a cold gaze suddenly came from a distance. The terrifying and cold-killing intent made Yi Bei feel cold. The red area. It is also a huge forest. It's just that the forest is more dangerous than the green area. There are terrible murderous intentions hidden everywhere. Laugh. When Yi Bei was watching the battle with 8 blood pythons, a cold gaze shot over from a distance. The first time he felt this gaze, Yi Bei instinctively looked in that direction. It's okay not to look at it. After seeing the real situation, even Yi Bei couldn't help but tremble slightly. Then back several meters. The crocodile has such a huge body and still appears in the swamp. The reticulated python is so aggressive, more than 20 meters away. That's all. What Yi Bei saw was definitely more terrifying than the frantic fighting scene before him. It is also a huge python. Yes, it's the head. The length of the body is at least more than 40 meters. The skin of the body is gray-brown. The body only takes about 3 meters to form an ad-shaped pillar for the ground. The body of more than 30 meters is like a pin. It stood up very straight. Because of the color, plus it was motionless before, it looked like a giant tree. Even Yi Bei didn't even notice its existence at the beginning. But now, Yi Bei could clearly feel that this giant python, with those 2 eyes as big as football, was staring at him. Manhwa Ch, who followed Yi Bei, was looking for joy, and her body was trembling. Her mouth was closed tightly, her eyes were wide open, and she didn't dare to move. System, can I swallow this snake? In addition to fear, Yi Bei's heart also hides boundless excitement. Imagine. If you can swallow such a snake, even if you can't get a lot of evolution points, your body will definitely undergo unprecedented changes. Maybe it can go directly from 8 meters to more than 40 like this python. Meter. Host. This is a mutant reticulated python with a body length of 41 meters 22 and a body diameter of more than 2 meters 23. It is the king of these reticulated pythons. With the host's current physical fitness, it is basically impossible to swallow it. Unless the host can complete the 5th stage of evolution, undergo genetic changes, and become a titan python. The system is very unfeeling. This answer dispelled all Yi Bei's passion in an instant. It is 41.22 meters long and 2.23 meters in diameter. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, it was before. Even if someone took a video and placed a photo in front of him, Yi Bei, he would never believe that there is such a monster in this world. Special, it is simply against the sky. Okay? It's not a joke that this is called the dead zone on the map. The so-called longest python in the world is less than 15 meters. In front of this snake, It is like a child. Then it will never attack us now, right? Unable to swallow the king of the mutant reticulated python, but after feeling the stern gaze, eBay carefully asked the system, and at the same time, he was silently thinking about how to escape. Then he looked for opportunities and continued to evolve, and finally swallowed this mutant reticulated python. Just keep watching. The system didn't give eBay a direct answer, but said something like this. Just as eBay was about to ask what the system meant, a scene that made eBay amazed even more appeared. Originally thought that the king of this huge mutant reticulated python was already huge enough to crush everything. Wow. Rumble. But in the next moment, eBay clearly saw that the huge trees in the forest fell one after another, with huge clattering noises and earthquake-like vibrations resounding through the eardrums. How is this going? Hearing this sound, eBay's eyes widened. However, the 8 pythons beside them finally reacted at this moment. Wong, it's too dangerous here. Or let's leave first. Yes, they are all mutant monsters. Just when I entered this area, I was able to find so many mutant beasts. What kind of beasts are there? It is totally unimaginable, although I want to turn them into food, but go back to our turf and go to sleep. When a large number of creatures are restored again, it is not bad to devour it. The 8 blood pythons retreated. As for eBay, he directly ignored their voices and stared at the place where the huge, shaking sound occurred. Focused. Through his mental power, eBay finally saw clearly what kind of monster it was. That is a huge crocodile. The skin on his body turned out to be black, the bulge like half a football mountain bag. The pitch-black skin looks harder than steel. The length of the body is at least more than 20 meters. Each tooth is nearly half a meter long. This is the mutant crocodile king? After seeing this creature, eBay exclaimed secretly in his heart. The mutant beasts in the red area are completely beyond imagination, just like giant monsters in the fictional cartoons in the human world. Anyone here in the human world will cause huge disasters. Compared with these giant mutant beasts, the mutant tigers and mutant eagles previously encountered in the green area are completely pediatric. eBay was shocked. With the appearance of the mutant crocodile king, the giant reticulated python instantly moved its gaze away from eBay and the 8 blood pythons, and then locked its gaze on the crocodile. Then, these 2 huge creatures rushing to each other without hesitation at all. Roar. The huge roar resounded across the sky. Booming. The ground seemed to be shaking at the moment of the collision. The king of mutant reticulated pythons used that huge body to cling to the king of mutant crocodile. But the crocodile king had no intention of surrendering. Even though the body was entangled, its mouth unceremoniously bit on the body of the reticulated python king. The sharp, half-meter-long teeth were all submerged in the python in the body. Bloody. Perhaps because of pain, these 2 monsters were rolling wildly in this forest, with huge vibrations constantly. And under this circumstance, the panic and shock in eBay's eyes slowly turned into excitement. Perhaps. This is a great opportunity for myself. 2 dogs fight. Play off. Now just wait for them to fight as fiercely as possible. The red area. When the crocodile group and the reticulated python group fought, the nearby mutant beasts had retreated several kilometers away. However, those mutant beasts did not really retreat. The strong smell in the air stimulates them all the time. They are all gathered around the periphery, waiting for the fight, wanting to rush in for a good meal. You wait for the opportunity. After the crocodile and the python on the swamp are almost dead, you can devour as much as you can. eBay's eyes were hot. When I said this, the voice was very excited. Because he found that in the swamp, when the common crocodile group and the reticulated python group attacked each other, they turned out to be evenly matched. Both sides suffered extremely heavy losses. The bright red blood donation dyed the entire swamp red. A large number of crocodiles and reticulated pythons all died. Looking around, there were corpses floating or sinking in the swamp. Of course, there are still many crocodiles and pythons, still fighting desperately, roaring constantly. And eBay's eyes, Naturally, all fell on the dead corpses. These things look terrifying, but for Yi Bei, that's all evolution points. And the number of evolution points for each head is not low, 10,000 points for each head. It only needs 530,000 points to evolve from the final stage of the blood python. That is to say, as long as you eat 53 creatures here, you can easily complete the evolution and become a Titan python. At that time, if you can mutate the Crocodile King and the mutant Snake King can swallow it, that's awesome. Yi Bei's eyes shined. Fight. The more intense the better. Seeing the crocodile and the reticulated python fall one by one, Yi Bei's eyes became more and more excited. There were dozens of crocodiles and hundreds of pythons. If it really hurts both sides in the end, I take the opportunity to swallow them all. Not to mention becoming a Titan python, maybe it can be further evolved. Thinking of this, Yi Bei's fear of the mutant reticulated python king not only dissipated, but his inner excitement kept emerging. Just when Yi Bei was thinking about how to find opportunities. Who? Rumble. He saw with his own eyes that a large piece of torn snake meat suddenly flew from the sky towards his direction. It was the meat that a crocodile bit from a reticulated python. Then the crocodile was entangled by other pythons. Under the huge force, the piece of meat flew out. The opportunity is here. After seeing this piece of snake meat, Yi Bei was trembling with excitement. This is definitely a good opportunity. Eat this piece of meat. His body may undergo tremendous changes, and he will gain reticulation. The python gene, the next to devour prey, also has enough strength. Booming. The piece of snake meat was more than 2 meters long and was covered with mud and blood. But in Yi Bei's eyes, this is the most delicious meat. The snake meat was located less than 20 meters away from Yi Bei. In other places, crocodiles and snakes fought, and there was no time to pay attention to Yi Bei and the 8 snakes next to him. You keep me aside. This piece of snake meat, I will swallow it first. Saw the snake meat falling. Yi Bei quickly rushed over with flashing eyes, and at the same time a letter was spit out in his mouth and said with a cold tone at Manhwa Ch, 8 blood pythons said for joy. Yes, King. Yes. In fact, seeing that piece of snake meat, spring flowers and autumn months, the eyes of the 8 blood pythons for pleasure-seeking also lit up, telling them instinctively that as long as that piece of meat was eaten, their bodies would definitely undergo unprecedented evolution. However, they did not dare to rebel against Yi Bei's order. At the same time as his mouth agreed, his body moved quickly, divided into 8 positions, enclosing the piece of meat. Yi Bei rushed in. Call. Moving his body to the side of the mutant reticulated python, Yi Bei took a deep breath. There was a faint smell of blood in the air. However, the smell passed into his body along his nose, making Yi Bei feel full of power. Just when Yi Bei was about to swallow this piece of meat in one bite, the silent system finally started to speak. Dear host, the meat of the reticulated python has its special genes. If it is swallowed, it will gain its genes and gain evolution points, but it will affect the host's next stage of evolution. The voice of the system was abrupt. Okay. Hearing what the system said, Yi Bei stopped immediately. What exactly do you mean? Yi Bei asked, but after taking it literally, he immediately went on to say, in other words, once I eat the meat of the reticulated python, I will get his genes, and the body can get strengthening, can also get evolution points, but even if my evolution points reach 1 million, I can't immediately evolve into a Titan python? Yi Bei was quite confused when he said this. If this is the case, then it really has to be considered carefully. Yes. However, the reticulated python is currently the largest living snake on the planet. If the host successfully swallows the reticulated python and completes its evolution, although it meets 1 million evolution points, it cannot become a Titan python, but wait, once a stage is reached, after evolving into a Titan python, it will cross the juvenile stage and directly become the largest and strongest Titan python. The system continues to explain. Oh? Yi Bei, who was a bit tangled at first, became even more excited when he heard this. According to the system, eating a reticulated python is definitely beneficial. To put it in a more popular way, it's like laying a foundation. After eating the reticulated python, Yi-Bei's foundation will be stronger. When he evolves into a Titan python, his strength will directly span several stages. The only loss is the time to evolve into a Titan python. I know, Yi-Bei replied with the system. After he understood it thoroughly, he opened his mouth wide and swallowed all the meat of the reticulated python on the ground in one bite. Okay. When the piece of meat entered his mouth, Yi-Bei's eyes suddenly glared. When entrenched on the ground, the body expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ho ho ho. In the red zone, the battle continues. The two huge mutant beasts killed each other 4 times, and every moment, there was life disappearing. However, Yi-Bei didn't pay attention to these things at all at this moment. When he swallowed the meat of the reticulated python, the surrounding Chunhua Qyu and the 8 blood pythons who are looking for pleasure and joy are all envious, but this look has just appeared, and the next second, it will become shock and panic, because at this moment, in their eyes, Yi-Bei, the changes are really scary. Chi 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 chi. The body grew rapidly, and the rubble on the ground and the decayed leaves continued to make a sneer. On the surface of the body, that layer of white snake skin was peeling off. Less than 2 seconds, at least 3 layers of skin were peeled off. Looking at it, Yi-Bei seemed to be completely wrapped in the white snake skin. In addition, Yi-Bei's breath has become stronger. The air gradually became cold. Even though these 8 snakes were Yi-Bei's most loyal subordinates, they still trembled after feeling the breath. As for Yi-Bei himself, following the meat entrance of the reticulated python, he immediately opened his eyes. Obviously, there is only a piece of meat more than 2 meters long, but after entering his mouth, it turned into the purest energy, spreading in his body. Then, Yi-Bei seemed to be able to feel the genetic chain in his body very clearly. Rapid changes are taking place. The gene chain was torn apart one by one. Then, under this pure energy, one after another reorganization. With each combination, terrifying to the extreme power will erupt from it. Those powers spread along the genetic chain to the cells, and then travel throughout the body, making the whole body full of explosive and threatening. There is no pain. Some have only the ultimate, unprecedented comfort. This refreshing feeling seemed to make Yi-Bei have a kind of hope that he would be addicted to it for a lifetime. In addition, the voice of the system is constantly resounding in Yi-Bei's mind. The host devours the reticulated python meat and gains 1,000 evolution points. The host swallows the genes of the same type of python, and the body is genetically strengthened. It will get rid of the blood python's genes and undergo a deeper transformation. The system is fully upgraded. System upgrade 10%? System upgrade 20%? Yes, in the back. After the system had finished speaking those words, it immediately began to upgrade. Although it was a little unprepared, Yi-Bei, who was undergoing transformation, was excited in his heart. After the system was upgraded last time, many useful things have been added. Moreover, Yi-Bei could clearly feel that this upgrade was much more serious than last time. Time passed quickly. More than 3 hours have passed since the battle in the distance. The sky was all dark, and the entire swamp was full of corpses, but there was still no intention to stop, as if there was only the last one left. As for the Python King and the Crocodile King, although the physical difference is huge, the Crocodile King's strength is terrifying. 3 hours later, the Snake King was bloody, while the Crocodile King was tighter, and his eyes were almost squeezed out, but it just didn't intend to let go, but bite more happily. This 3-hour period gave Yi-Bei the most perfect evolutionary experience. The length of the body has increased by 7 meters from the 8 meters when it first came to this area, reaching 15 meters. The body diameter has reached 50 centimeters. The sharp fangs in his mouth and 2 rows of white teeth seemed to be able to tear them to pieces even when facing the steel plate. When the body evolution was completed, Yi-Bei did not have time to enjoy the brand new body, and the system upgrade was almost completed simultaneously. When entrenched on the ground, in front of Yi-Bei's eyes, the fluorescent screen that only he could see was lit up again. Infinite Evolution System. Name: Yi-Bei. Primary species: blood python, blood python plus reticulated python gene mix, new species. Age: 1 year old. Because of evolution, it has a size and strength several times that of an adult python. Lifespan: 100 years. The evolution points of the first stage of the blood web, 471000/1000000. The third stage is the final stage, and the level will be upgraded after completion. Level: LV2. After leveling up, genes can be changed to move towards a higher level of snake-like species. Language: snake language, regional animal language. Ability: fangs. Apostle: 1. Territory: centered on the base of the snake group, a radius of 10 kilometers. Length: 15 meters. Average body diameter: 50 cm. Body resistance to stress: level 5. Can withstand sharp blade attacks, and the skin can resist the impact of ordinary firearms bullets. Speed: 10 m/section. Strength: 10t, can easily lift 10t weight. Task: evolve into a Titan python and transform the entire island into the newest territory. This is Yi-Bei's latest information. After seeing this information, Yi-Bei immediately noticed the changes. The first is the species. After I swallowed a reticulated python, I actually synthesized a new species of python, the bloodstripe python. This is definitely an accident. Using a normal system to explain it is equivalent to a hidden task, just before there is no prompt at all. In addition, the level has also become LV2. If Yi-Bei remembers correctly, according to the system, if you want to complete the level upgrade, you must evolve the genetic level change. It was only at the beginning that Yi-Bei understood that it must evolve to become a Titan python. In fact, swallowing other giant python species can also undergo genetic changes and upgrade levels. This is probably also hidden by the system. In addition, other numerical aspects have also been greatly improved. Even many figures have directly doubled. The only thing that makes Yi-Bei a little depressed is that it takes 3 stages for the bloodstained python to evolve into the Titan python, and now he is still in the first stage, which means that he is a few steps away from the Titan python, but thinking that if one day he could really become a Titan python, he would undergo a more complete transformation, and Yi-Bei felt that these changes that were happening now were all very necessary. This feeling is really cool. If you just swallow all the crocodiles and reticulated pythons here, the first stage of evolution will be extremely easy. See the latest information. Because of evolution, Yi-Bei, who was still entrenched in the same place, finally slowly opened his eyes. Only at the moment he opened his eyes, a powerful and terrifying aura surged out of his body madly. The mutant reticulated python king and the mutant crocodile king, who were still playing hard in the distance, stopped almost at the same time and looked towards the direction where Yi-Bei was. Whizzing. The moment Yi-Bei opened his eyes, a cold wind blew directly in the air. There is a sense of solemnity. Chi 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 chi. Because the body just got bigger and she kept molting, a layer of white snake skin had long been piled up around it, like a hill, which surrounded Yi-Bei's body in it. So when Yi-Bei opened his eyes, it's just that the breath burst out suddenly, and no one can see the situation inside. I feel the air around me is getting cold. Obviously this is here, but I feel my heartbeat has accelerated a lot. Too horrible. Is this our king? Chunhua Qyu, looking for pleasure. 8 blood pythons stared at the pile of snake skins. The letter from the mouth spit out. The voice kept. To be honest, it was just a piece of reticulated python meat before. They felt that if they swallowed it, they would be able to elevate themselves to a stage. The terrifying aura that Yi-Bei showed now made them all in a state of awkwardness. The Crocodile King and the Reticulated Python King, who were fighting frantically, also immediately put their eyes on Yi-Bei's side. As a mutant creature, and being able to develop such a powerful beast king in the red zone, their innate alertness is definitely not a play. That kind of premonition of danger. It was as if he was suddenly pierced by a thin needle behind his head. Roar. The Reticulated Python King roared in his mouth. Hoo. The Crocodile King's mouth was inhaling. However, no matter how you look at it, these two huge monsters have already stared at Yi-Bei. After seeing the mountain of snake skin piled up on the ground, They paused for a short time. Finally, the strength of the python's strangulation was reduced, and the crocodile stopped biting. 10 seconds later, the two king-level monsters fighting for several hours all stopped fighting unexpectedly. Cold eyes gathered on Yibei's side. At the same time, his body slowly moved towards Yibei. As for the ordinary mutant pythons and mutant crocodiles, there are definitely no more than 20 alive. After feeling the breath of Yibei, they all stopped, their eyes like cold arrows, rushing towards Yibei here. Ruined. Protect the king. Even if you die, you can't let them attack. Those pythons and crocodiles are staring at us. Shrink the encirclement. The 8 blood pythons naturally noticed the unhealthy aura around them, realized that their situation had been exposed, and even attracted the attacks of those monsters. They reacted quickly and quickly narrowed their encirclement, who is desperately posture. But obviously, the Crocodile King and the Reticulated Python King are faster. When 8 blood pythons formed a circle to protect Yibei, rumble. Their huge bodies directly crushed countless huge trees, making a loud rumbling noise and rushing towards Yibei quickly. As for the ordinary mutant crocodiles and pythons covered with blood and scars, they also touched quickly. Rustling. Chi-chi. All the while, in the red zone forest, all were occupied by such sounds. After seeing those huge monsters rushing towards this side, the eyes of the 8 blood pythons stared wide. Ruined. They're all here. What should I do? The Wong woke up, but he hasn't come out yet. The 8 blood pythons felt unprecedented fear, but before, they were all mentally controlled by Yibei. Even if they were fearful, even if they sacrificed their lives, they would definitely be loyal to Yibei, and there was no Yibei. The order will always be protected. Wow, time is fast. Those monsters are also fast. The 8 blood pythons are all ready to sacrifice at any time, and the scarlet letter is constantly spit out from the mouth, and the eyes are full of bloodshot eyes. What made them even more amazed was that after the mutant monsters rushed to a position less than 5 meters away from their side, they all stopped. There was no sound in the forest that was shaking. Squeak. Only occasionally can hear the enemy far away, and there is a faint, squeaky bird. How is this going? Seeing these mutant beasts stop moving, the 8 blood pythons were completely confused. Special, don't be scary, okay? It's a little bit moving. At least I still think about how to resist. As a result, I just kept quiet. What about the 8 pythons? Heart pressure. This is a huge psychological pressure. It directly caused the 8 blood pythons, their bodies trembling violently, their eyes fixed on these monsters, but they never dared to make any more movements, and the gazes of these monsters all fell on above those white snake skins. Chi-chi. The mountain of snake skins was surging, making a sneer. Although Yibei's whole body is buried in it, his eyes can't see anything, but he is actually aware of the outside situation. This is a special function of mental power, and the system improves him. Later, even with his eyes closed, he could fully grasp the situation at close range. The conditions outside shocked Yibei himself. Although he had eaten the reticulated python, his genetic level had been improved, and his strength had increased several times. But Yibei knew it well. Now the body length is only 15 meters. Really fight that mutant crocodile king. As long as he opens his mouth, he can tear his body to pieces. As for the more than 40 reticulated pythons, not to mention that, with a body close to 2 meters in diameter, it is estimated that it can easily strangle itself to death. Really careless. I didn't expect to expose myself again so soon. I wanted to pick up a big deal. Under the snake's skin, Yibei muttered to himself. Fear? He definitely has. But in this case, fear has no effect, and he can only try to stay calm. After all, these monsters didn't attack immediately. Yibei didn't figure out what they were thinking for the time being, although the killing intent was in the air. Wow. Yibei slightly increased the strength on his body. Then, the snake skins piled up on his body made a clattering sound, and then Yibei's body was gradually exposed to the sight of these mutant beasts. But at the moment Yibei appeared, Yibei took the initiative to speak. Chi-Chi, the letter from his mouth spit out. The regional animal language allows him to communicate with any living creatures on this experimental island at will. King Crocodile, King Python, I don't know what it means for you two to be by my side. Yibei's voice was somewhat cold. Between the beasts, the most important thing is not to lose momentum. Yibei doesn't want to reappear after his evolution is complete, giving these two kings a cowardly appearance. If that's the case, he will definitely die instantly without a place to be buried. After Yibei said this sentence, the Crocodile King and Python King, who were still silent, all trembled suddenly. The eyeballs also stared fiercely. Hoo-hoo-hoo. The experimental island, as long as it is this island, is always blown by sea breeze. The huge sea breeze shook the surrounding trees. In this case, the reticulated Python King and the Crocodile King, their bodies are shaking. As a mutant creature, and become the king of a race. In fact, both of them have extraordinary intelligence. That kind of intelligence is equivalent to 12 or 13-year-old humans. In the animal world, in fact, there have always been very fixed rules. It is very difficult for two different kinds of creatures to communicate with each other in words. In the cartoon, all the animals can communicate unimpeded, which is simply nonsense. You must know that even humans and humans from different regions have difficulty communicating in words. The barriers between biological races are even more difficult to break. But now, Yibei said the good voice and the meaning he wanted to express, but they could thoroughly understand it. But this is enough to explain the difference between this python that has just shed its skin and exudes a terrifying aura. But when Yibei's body slowly pushed away the white snake skin and was completely exposed to the air, the two beast kings were directly shocked. Yibei's body is only 15 meters. 1 millimeter is not much. 1 millimeter is not much. The thickness of the body is not very thick. After all, it is in this red area. All are mutant beasts, too many existences beyond common sense. But Yibei's difference was too obvious. The first is the sharp fangs on both sides of the mouth. Each of them is terrifyingly long, white and smooth like ceramics, but they give people a terrifying feeling, as if they only need to be pierced by such fangs. Without a doubt, even if you have fangs. The scary thing is that when Yibei spoke, his mouth was still full of sharp teeth. The teeth are neatly arranged. Moreover, the teeth in Yibei's mouth are different from those of ordinary beasts. Each of his teeth are triangular in shape, thick inside and very thin at the top. If they are bitten by these teeth, as long as Yibei doesn't loosen it, even the Crocodile King and the Snake King were torn off a piece of meat. Besides, even more weird is the lines on Yibei's skin. When there was no evolution before, Yibei had a red and black snake pattern, which was similar to that of a blood python, but it looked clearer and more layered than an ordinary blood python, and the skin seemed to have scales. In Yibei now, his genes have changed, and his body has naturally undergone essential changes. The skin on the body is all blood red, and in the blood red skin, there appeared gold-like golden lines, constantly interlacing in it. You can see its difference at a glance. Bloodstripe python. Yibei appeared in front of everyone in this brand new posture. If it weren't for Yibei's aura to remain the same, it was countless times stronger than before, and suddenly appeared in this appearance. It is estimated that Manhwa Ch, the 8 blood pythons for pleasure, would not recognize him as his own king for a while. Are you also a mutant python? The king of mutant reticulated pythons stared with wide eyeballs. After seeing Yibei appearing in this posture, he couldn't help but back up a bit, then spit out the letter, and said something like this. He could understand the snake in front of him. Then, he must be able to understand what he said. The reticulated Python King thought so in his heart. The Crocodile King next to him was not idle at this time. The mouth is open. The sound of rough mine, accompanied by the smell of blood, also came out of its mouth. Your mutation is different from mine. Could it be that you have found that thing? The voices of the two huge monsters all penetrated into Yibei's ears. Of course, Yibei understood their meaning instantly. However, The 8 blood pythons that were protecting Yi-Bei had a dumbfounded look, and at the same time they still appeared ready to fight. They can understand Yi-Bei's words. Regarding the reticulated Python King and mutant Crocodile King, they still couldn't understand. As for Yi-Bei, after hearing the words of the Snake King, he didn't feel much shock. But the words of the Crocodile King made his body tremble slightly. Found that thing? Which thing? Yi-Bei feels that there is a hidden mystery in this sentence. Is there something in the red zone, or this experimental island that can allow creatures to evolve perfectly? It seems that only this way can explain why these two monsters will be in front of them without directly killing them. I did eat one thing, but I don't know what it is, Yi-Bei said seriously. This sentence can be regarded as fooling these two monsters. After all, he knew very well that with his own strength, he couldn't resist these two monsters. Unless they can sneak attack and directly inject that violent toxin into their bodies, there will be no chance of winning. If they want to leave alive, they must use tricks to give them a reason not to kill themselves. Really? Hearing Yi-Bei's words, the eyes of the Crocodile King and the netted python all lit up. They were able to mutate because they were researched by humans in the laboratory, and they were constantly injected with drugs. In that process, they had already turned on their wisdom. Those fragmentary memories told them that the experiment seemed to be successful. There might be a more powerful mutation potion on this island. As long as you eat it, your strength will definitely improve again. They are very powerful, but the instincts of creatures have always been able to become stronger. Of course it is true. I dare not lie to you. Also spit out the letter. Take us over now, the Crocodile King and the Snake King said almost at the same time. After seeing them so anxious and showing what he wanted, Yi-Bei knew that these two guys had nothing but power, and they were not afraid at all. With his IQ, he could easily deceive them. Of course, no problem. I am also a snake clan after all. But, King Snake, are you sure that it is okay to bring a crocodile there? When saying this, Yi-Bei pretended to be solemn. Sure enough, the moment this sentence fell, the Crocodile King and the Snake King suddenly had murderous auras, and the cold, murderous aura made the surrounding trees scream. The good show is coming. Feeling the majestic killing intent, Yi-Bei was very excited. There is no room for two tigers. The same. Something that can completely change one's physical fitness. If it is any creature, it is unwilling to share it with others. The Crocodile King and the Reticulated Python King are selfish. After hearing Yi-Bei's serious sentence, their bodies suddenly stunned. I was very clear. Your competitor is right in front of you. If you don't kill the opponent, you will kill each other after you really get the evolving potion, and there may even be some accidents in the middle. For example, if one party is trying to get rid of it, Yi-Bei will be taken away. The best way is to do it right now. The loser, dead. Winner, get everything. The war that had just subsided was due to Yi-Bei's simple sentence, which was about to start again. The Crocodile King. We will stop here today. The one who found that thing belongs to our snake clan. Naturally, that thing belongs to us too. If we have the courage, we will fight another day, and we will split it up. Chi-Chi. The Python King was vomiting a letter. It's just that he ignored his voice. The King Crocodile didn't understand it at all, and it was just a sneer when it reached his ears. And in the fight just now, all its mouth was full of blood. When he said this, there was a lot of blood dripping on the ground on the letter. It's just this kind of threat, which is ridiculous. On the contrary, the murderous aura on him increased sharply. Sure enough, after the King Crocodile felt this kind of breath, he was much more crisp, his eyes were icy, and the voice of the King Snake was directly ignored by him. Yi-Bei's words had already let him know the disadvantage. At the same time, it was also inspired. Its infinite killing intent. Whew. The open mouth and the sharp teeth were terrifying. Laugh. In the next instant, to Yi-Bei's expectation, the Crocodile King unceremoniously bit the Snake King's body without even saying a word. The sharp teeth plunged into the Snake King's body. With a sniff. Wow. Then, bright red blood, like a column of water, madly spewed out of the Snake King's body. The severe pain caused the Snake King's body to be twisted immediately. In the next instant, the king's snake also reacted. The 40-meter-long body swept through forcefully, and a large number of giant trees were directly cut off. In less than a second, the king crocodile was entangled again, and this moment, the snake king's eyes were blood red, and his murderous intent was raging. He was extremely angry about the crocodile king's sneak attack. Ho ho ho! There was even a huge roar from his mouth. Retreat! We retreat! The two huge monsters fought again. Yibei's first reaction was to give orders to the 8 blood pythons. In the green zone, 8 blood pythons may stand at the top of the food chain, but they are not fast enough in front of these 2 monsters. Yibei didn't want his loyal subordinates to accidentally die in this kind of battle. Zzz. The blood pythons didn't hesitate to hear Yibei's order. The body twisted and quickly fled towards the distance. The mutant crocodile group and the mutant reticulated python group that had stopped saw that their king was fighting again, and he was not polite at all. Chi. Blood spattered. Zzz. The terrible strangulation power of the reticulated python entangled the crocodile. The flesh of the body was tightened, and the Zzz voice continued. Keep on fighting. I'm hungry. Let's eat something first. The 8 blood pythons retreated. But in this situation, Yibei had no idea of leaving. The only ones that can pose a threat to him are the Crocodile King and the Snake King, and their crazy fighting posture will definitely be inseparable for a while. Kill it. The more intense the kill, the better. In this way, he has enough time to devour the prey. Just swallow all the mutant crocodiles and mutant pythons that died before, and after completing the second stage of evolution of the blood-stained python, clean up those 2 monsters. Whoosh whoosh. With this thought, Yibei twisted his body and quickly rushed towards the position of the swamp. The red body like blood is particularly conspicuous. Its actions were naturally seen by King Crocodile and King Snake, but as long as Yibei was in sight, it was more important to fight each other now. 1 minute later, Yibei has successfully reached the edge of the swamp. In the air, there was a strong smell of blood. As if just taking a breath, it was like sucking blood. Because after he evolved and awakened, he attracted the living crocodiles and mutant pythons. At this moment, they all were fighting in the distance. What's left in the swamp, for Yibei, all are evolution points. Coming to the edge, Yibei greedily looked at the corpses of crocodiles and pythons in the swamp. Bloody. And the white bones. Some crocodiles, whose bodies were twisted alive by pythons, collapsed, their eyes bulged, and they died on the spot. Some reticulated pythons were dragged into the swamp by crocodiles and drowned alive, or under their sharp teeth. Their bodies were ripped apart and there were pieces of meat everywhere. Swallow. Host. Swallow immediately. Even the system hidden in Yibei's body began to get excited after seeing the pile of evolution points. Such a voice madly echoed in Yibei's mind. Roar. Dark eyes, bloodshot, open mouth, roaring excitedly. The sharp teeth are ready to tear everything. Just when Yibei opened his mouth and was about to swallow a piece of crocodile, meat closest to him, the voice of the system resounded in his mind again. A large number of powerful mutant beasts have been discovered. Judging by the system, these mutant beasts will provide a lot of evolution points. In addition, the existence of these mutant beasts, regardless of their strength or the level of their genes, is much higher than that of humans. Once swallowed, you will receive variable evolution points and unexpected rewards. The sound of the system is sudden, but Yibei was overjoyed when he heard this. Sure enough, good things happen every year. According to the system, the value of these huge mutant beasts is still higher than that of humans. In other words, if you eat one head, maybe you can get 20,000 evolution points, 30,000 evolution points, even 100,000 evolution points? How many points are it? At this moment, even Yibei's own authority could not analyze a specific number. And this is only second. Yibei noticed that the system also said unexpected rewards. You should know that when you ate that spirit orb at the beginning, you got a treasure chest. If I eat all these pythons and crocodiles, will I get another treasure chest again? Golden treasure chest? Diamond treasure chest? Even more advanced? This is definitely a happy event. Thinking of this, Yi Bei's appetite exploded. Roar! With his mouth open, his sharp teeth plunged into a huge crocodile in an instant. The moment it went down, a cold energy spread all over the body immediately. This energy was completely different from the previous hot ones. Evolution, isn't it? Rewarded for the first bite? The red area, in the murderous forest. Rumble. Wow. The mutant reticulated python king and the mutant crocodile king are still fighting each other. Large tracts of trees were broken by them. Some stones on the ground were also crushed into powder during their mutual struggle. This huge destructive power was originally not seen by any human beings in this dead zone. But because Yi Bei killed many humans in the green zone before, the mercenary base directly strengthened the experiment. The concern of the island. He even launched several unmanned helicopters over the island. At this moment, an unmanned helicopter hovered over the Crocodile King and the Snake King, and the process of fighting them all was recorded. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. I have always thought that the experimental island is just a restricted area. But have you seen these creatures, these terrible creatures? They all live here. As long as you get them and tame them, it will be what a great power? Even if it is not tamed, it is a great wealth to obtain their genes for modification. The person in charge of the mercenary base, watching the video sent back, excitedly said to his subordinates. Fear, excitement, complex emotions kept surging in his mind. It was the first time that such a picture was taken by an unmanned helicopter. Before the experimental island was covered by dense forest, it was impossible to photograph the situation inside. But now, after the Crocodile King and the Snake King fought, they pushed a large number of giant trees, which led to their exposure. This python is probably 40 meters long. Unbelievable. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I would have thought the previous one would be big enough. It seems we have found the treasure. The news here, once it is released, the whole world will be crazy. Did the original experiment succeed? In the conference room, the high-level mercenaries also watched with wide-eyed eyes. The shock brought to them by the videos of these 2 days was absolutely unprecedented. In order to track down Yi Bei, so many unexpected surprises were found. Immediately send an additional manpower, 100 people, and 100 people to the experimental island. In any case, I must bring a mutant beast back. After a long time, the person in charge of the mercenary base shouted. However, Yi Bei at this moment has no idea what the mercenaries are like. Evolution, continuous evolution, until the strongest weapon of mankind cannot hurt himself. This is Yi Bei's goal. Click. The crisp sound resounded in the red zone forest. This is Yi Bei's habitual way of using humans to eat food, borrowing the sharp teeth to make the sound of a crocodile. The sharp teeth easily penetrate the crocodile's body like a steel plate. Then, the teeth pierced the crocodile's bones and made a clicking sound. Snakes generally eat food directly, but the crocodile's size is really too big. Yi Bei simply borrowed his teeth and imitated the memory of once humans, using that huge bite force to shred the crocodile meat piece by piece, and then swallow it into his mouth. Okay. When the first bite of crocodile meat entered his mouth, Yi Bei's eyes suddenly glared. The first is an icy breath that spreads directly to the whole body along the mouth. This feeling is completely different from the hot breath before. But one thing is the same, that is, when this breath is spreading, my body has an unprecedented feeling of comfort. Every restless cell in the body slowly restores its calmness, and the breath becomes as pure energy. Merge with your body as quickly as possible. Congratulations to the host for successfully eating a piece of mutant crocodile meat and gaining 1,000 evolution points. Because the body of the crocodile meat contains mutant drugs, the host's body will also be strengthened. In addition to the unprecedented invigoration, the systemic this sentence undoubtedly made Yi Bei more excited and excited. Mutation drugs strengthen the body? In other words, if you swallow all these mutant beasts next, you will turn the mutant medicine that originally belonged to them into your own. At that time, your body will also be mutated? Get stronger power? Yi Bei felt that he had discovered the new world again. This experimental island is really surprising. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing the entire mutant crocodile, gaining 18,000 evolution points and a bronze treasure chest. Eat the first mutant crocodile, get a lot of evolution points, and also get a bronze treasure chest. This is definitely a super accident. Devour. Continue to devour. Swallow everything here. However, eBay did not open the treasure chest to see what was inside. This way of obtaining evolution points, as well as increasing the speed of body evolution, made him extremely addicted. I just wanted to bite the prey like a human. Chi-Chi. Golyulu. At this moment, eBay opened his mouth unceremoniously and began to swallow all the mutant crocodiles one by one. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring the entire mutant crocodile, gaining 22,000 evolution points and a silver treasure chest. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing the entire mutant crocodile and gaining 9,000 evolution points. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing the entire mutant crocodile, gaining 28,000 evolution points and a silver treasure chest. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing the entire mutant crocodile, gaining 23,000 evolution points and a bronze treasure chest. Constantly swallowed. The voice of the system kept resounding in eBay's ears. On the information panel, the number of evolution points was beating crazily. A lot of rewards and the numbers of treasure chests were also crazily superimposed. The more this happened, the more it stimulated eBay to continue devouring it. Mutant crocodile. Mutant reticulated python. When eBay ate the 10th head, the length of his body had grown to 18 meters, and he had 7 treasure chests. When eBay ate the 29th head, he stopped the madness. Because, when the 29th mutant beast became eBay's food, the number of evolution points it brought had exceeded 530,000. The information panel of the system recorded the requirements for the second stage upgrade of eBay's bloodstained python. Has been reached. The moment reached. Without eBay's consent, the system directly opened the second stage of evolution of the bloodstained python to eBay. This abrupt evolution surprised eBay at the same time. It was even more exciting. One day, in a short time, after several stages of evolution, what could be better than this? Moreover, during the evolution this time, eBay didn't even need to enter a dormant state. This situation made eBay naturally even more crazy. Click, click. Blood splattered. Next to the swamp, after eBay swallowed nearly 30 heads, his evolution points were full. The majestic energy travels through the body. The body is constantly expanding and getting bigger. If it was before, eBay would definitely need to find a quiet place to slowly complete the evolution. But at this moment, while evolving, eBay was shocked to discover another thing. His body is still conscious, and he hasn't been affected at all. What does this indicate? It shows eBay can completely devour prey or complete physical evolution while frantically fighting. To be able to do this, for him, the basis for ensuring that he can survive has increased dozens of times. Ho ho ho! eBay roared excitedly. Since it can be swallowed. After he paused for a while, he immediately started to move again. 30th, the 50th head, 80 head, originally piled up like a mountain in the swamp. Next to the swamp was all the battle scenes of minced meat. Under this crazy swallowing, it quickly reduced. 3 hours later, there are almost no corpses still visible here. Swallowing so many creatures, eBay's body has also undergone a higher level of transformation. The body length is fixed at 21 meters. The average body diameter has reached 1 meter. Both the aura and the sharp fangs in his mouth have been greatly improved compared to when he first became a blood-stained python. At this moment, eBay has absolute self-confidence, fighting the king crocodile and king snake. And when eBay ate the 90th head, the extremely powerful aura exuding from his body finally stopped the mutant crocodile king and the mutant reticulated python king who were fiercely fighting in the distance, and moved towards him again, sweeping eyes from the direction. When I saw the corpses piled up in the swamp, only a few remained. When I saw eBay's body, In addition to getting a little bigger, he swallowed so many creatures, his stomach didn't bulge at all. At this moment, the two mutant monsters finally realized that something was wrong. Asshole, you ate all my people? The first is the Crocodile King roaring, murderous. Did he really swallow it? Why? The belly didn't grow at all. It's impossible. The mutant reticulated Python King is also talking. After the two monsters stopped fighting, they rushed towards eBay as quickly as possible. As for eBay at this moment, after completing the second stage of the evolution of the blood-stained python, after looking at the two mutant monsters rushing over, he didn't care at all. His mouth was still quickly devouring the evolution points nearby. After all, during the previous battle, there were nearly 15 mutant beasts that died. While devouring, eBay also looked seriously at his latest information situation. Infinite Evolution System. Name, eBay. Primary species, blood python plus reticulated python gene mix, new species. Age, 1 year old. Because of evolution, it has a size and strength several times that of an adult python. Lifespan, 100 years. The evolution points of the third stage of the bloodstained python, 510000/1000000. The third stage is the ultimate stage, and the level will be upgraded after completion. Level, LV2, after leveling up, genes can be changed to move towards a higher level of snake-like species. Language, snake language, regional animal language. Ability, fangs. Apostle, 1. Territory, centered on the base of the snake group, a radius of 10 kilometers. Length, 21 meters. Average body diameter, 60 cm. Body resistance to stress, level 10. It can withstand sharp blade attacks, and the skin can resist the impact of gun bullets. Speed, 30s/section. Strength, 20t. It can easily lift 5t weight. Prizes, 15 bronze treasure chests, 9 silver treasure chests. Task, evolve into a Titan python and transform the entire island into the newest territory. This is eBay's latest information. Among them, the most changes have been made. What shocked eBay most is that the blood-stained python originally had 3 stages of evolution: the first stage, the second stage, and the third stage. But this time it was swallowed. After so many prey, eBay even directly completed 2 consecutive evolutions. In the next step, you can hit the ultimate stage of the blood-marked python and upgrade the level. Among them, the prize column that attracted eBay's most attention: 15 bronze treasure chests and 9 silver treasure chests. This time it is so completely developed. You must know that at the very beginning, by drawing a bronze treasure chest, you can get the cobra fangs. Then, once you open all these treasure chests and obtain the contents, what level will your strength rise to? It's scary enough to think about it. In addition, many other data have undergone many changes, such as the body's resistance to stress. It is not difficult to find out if you look carefully. The information given by the system at the beginning is only able to resist the impact of ordinary firearms. But now, the system has removed the word normal. This shows what? It explained, in the future, eBay, even if he uses this body to face the anti-human submachine gun, as long as the bullet does not hit his eyes or other deadly vulnerable places, there will be no problems at all. This feeling is real and refreshing. If you can keep upgrading like this without any barriers, what will it look like if you enter the human world as a real dragon? Feeling the immense power in his body, eBay muttered to himself. If deep down in his heart before, he felt that it was very unlucky to become a snake. So now, all eBays will are surprisingly consistent. Although he has become a snake, but with this body, he is destined to stand on the pinnacle of the world. Wow. eBay's current physical strength already had to let the mutant Crocodile King and the mutant reticulated python pay attention. I was seriously injured when I was entangled just now. But this did not prevent them from rushing towards eBay quickly, and along the way, deliberately showed their killing intent to the fullest. Just when the mutant Crocodile King and the mutant reticulated python king appeared beside eBay and stared at eBay with cold eyes. Evolution is complete. eBay, who had completely integrated the terrifying power and the evolution points that had been swallowed into his body. After seeing the two monsters coming over, this time he didn't pretend to be ashamed as before, but looked directly at them. Chi-Chi. The scarlet letter spit out from his mouth. Yi-Bei began to speak decisively. He was killing intent. If you don't want to be swallowed by me, starting today, surrender to me. Yi-Bei's voice is not loud. However, this sentence turned into a terrifying force, rushing directly to the heads of the Crocodile King and the Python King, making the bodies of these two behemoths startled, full of shock. Hoo! At this moment, the murderous spirit was surging constantly. Hoo-hoo-hoo! The murderous intent was gathered and mixed with the sea breeze. When it was blown, it was like a blade, cutting on the body. 5 kilometers away from the battle just now, a large number of mutant beasts gathered. After feeling this majestic, murderous aura, each of these mutant beasts shivered, but the greed in their eyes was even more crazy. It seemed that he could not bear to rush in and grab their dinner. Manhwa Ch, the 8 blood pythons for pleasure-seeking, although they were taken away by Yi-Bei, but they didn't really leave. After seeing the Crocodile King and the Snake King stop fighting, they rushed back as fast as possible. Entangled in the distance. Seeing my own king, I didn't see him in a short time, and his body turned into more than 20 meters. The aura on his body has become countless times stronger than before. These 8 blood pythons feel like they are dreaming. Of course, in addition to being a beast, on the side of the mercenary base, he has been observing the situation in the red area. After the battle between the Crocodile King and the mutant reticulated Python King, the head of the mercenary base could no longer sit still and directly issued an order to his subordinates. There are still 2 days to land on the experimental island together, and all the mutant beasts catch it all. Some creatures are watching. Some creatures are full of excitement. Some creatures are shocking. As for Yi-Bei at this moment, the dark eyes are shining with cold light. Even though his body length is twice as long as that of the netted Python King, he does not appear at all when he is entrenched. Weak. On the contrary, surrender to me. When he said this, his body still exudes a breath of undefeated king. But, under the law of the jungle, it is not enough to have a strong breath. The real life and death fight, whoever wins, is the boss. You want to die. So when Yi-Bei's voice just fell, the mutant Crocodile King was upset. At the moment of speaking, the mouth full of fangs opened. Just now I was fighting against the Boa Constrictor King. At this moment, there were all bright red blood stains on the teeth. The moment I opened my mouth, a strong smell spread crazily. Whoosh whoosh. Then, using his tail to balance his body, his hands quickly crawled towards Yi-Bei. The body instantly turned into a black shadow. I have to say, the crocodile, which originally crawled very slowly, after mutation, this speed is a bit beyond common sense. It is a pity that now it encounters Yi-Bei. Possess a human soul and a powerful body, and not necessarily weaker than the fighting strength of the Crocodile King. You are the one who is looking for death. Yi-Bei opened his mouth, and the system instantly filled the fangs on both sides of his mouth with toxins. The white fangs directly turned dark yellow under the huge amount of toxins. Seeing the Crocodile Queen rushing over, Yi-Bei said in a cold voice, but his body didn't mean to escape. His mouth opened wide. His eyes opened. All of his attention was focused on the neck of the Crocodile King. Chi-chi-chi-chi. Whoosh whoosh. Wow. The speed was too fast, and the Crocodile King rushed. The big trees in front of him, like toothpicks, broke when they broke. Murderous aura gushes crazily from him. The eyes were wide. The eyeballs inside had all turned blood red and looked terrifying. The opportunity is here. At this moment, Yi-Bei stared at the crocodile's neck. A lot of data is beating in my mind. The movement speed of the mutant Crocodile King, 18 meters per second. The length of the teeth, the estimated bite strength of the upper and lower jaws, the impact speed, the degree of skin defense on the crocodile neck. Roar. When the crocodile rushed to Yi-Bei's side less than half a meter, opened his mouth wide, and was about to bite directly at Yi-Bei's head, Yi-Bei finally started to move, and the temperature of his body suddenly increased. The muscles contracted and expanded tightly, reaching their peak state. 10, 20, 30. It seemed that a large number of numbers were beating. When that number reached 30, Yi-Bei felt that every cell in his body was rapidly running. Laugh. Moved. In the next moment, Yi-Bei's head moved fiercely. Muscle contraction. The majestic power is all concentrated in the teeth and upper body. On both sides of the mouth, the sharp fangs, with a sneer, plunged into the crocodile's neck. Okay. However, when the fangs pierced the crocodile's neck and quickly injected the toxin, Yi-Bei felt his body tighten, and a huge pain instantly spread throughout his body. But the Crocodile King is obviously more miserable. Normal pythons are non-toxic, and the way they fight is to use their bodies to strangle the enemy. It never expected that the blood-red python in front of it actually bit people with its teeth, and when it bit it, its own brain immediately began to become blurred, and the power in the body was being gradually lost. Take time. However, relying on the last strength, the Crocodile King bit on Yi-Bei's body unceremoniously, but the next situation made the Crocodile King even more fearful. Sulfuric acid. Own sharp teeth. The teeth that can bite the mutant reticulated python king with blood. When I bit on Yi-Bei's body, it turned out to be like a squeaky sound, as if biting on a half-meter thick steel plate. No matter how hard you use it, you can't go deep into it. Because the force is too large, the muscles in the mouth are torn, bloody. These are second. Click, click, click. What's more terrifying is that the click, the crackling sound, along the teeth and bones, spread to his already fuzzy consciousness. Tooth. All of them broke when they bit Yi-Bei's body? This situation makes the Crocodile King completely confused, and the mutant reticulated python king who has been entrenched next to him, when he saw such a scene, his body couldn't help but retreat a little. His eyes showed a trace of fear that is not easy. Points. As a result, the teeth are broken. The breath of life is also rapidly declining. This is really unexpected. Anyway, at this moment, the reticulated python was completely threatened by Yi-Bei's momentum. But Yi-Bei just felt a pain in his body, and his skin was not pierced by the crocodile's teeth. Then, he immediately became excited. After evolution, the strength of this body makes the crocodile teeth impossible to penetrate. With this body, who is the opponent? When he thought of this, Yi-Bei directly ignored the pain of his body. After all, no matter how many injuries he received, as long as he didn't die, he could heal quickly by devouring creatures. So, the power of the Crocodile King slowly decreased. Laugh. Yi-Bei decisively pulled out the two fangs from the crocodile's neck. Boom. The body exerted force and threw the Crocodile King away with a bang. Whizzing. Then quickly stepped forward, opened his mouth, and swallowed the crocodile's head in one bite. The mutant reticulated python king next to him, when he saw this place, his body almost fell in fright.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.